Welcome. In front of me is a Xiaomi Pad 6 and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this tablet. So anyway, I'll just get straight into it. So this is a pretty new device, coming from Xiaomi, as in, well, this version of it obviously. So let's get in and see what we get in the box. So obviously at the front we have our tablet and we have a couple interesting information about it. Number one, we do have a 144 Hertz refresh rate display right here, which is just so good. A Snapdragon 870, again, pretty decent for a tablet. Now, just to clarify this, Samsung did come out with their S9s right now and they will be just way more powerful than this one, because these devices from Samsung come with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. This is a little bit outdated compared to it. Now moving a little bit down, we have quad speakers, and now they do claim to be Vision Atmos or Dolby Vision Atmos, whatever that is, so I guess we'll test that out. Then 8,840 milliamp hour battery, all day battery. I love the asterisks there. Then we got a 33 watt fast charging, so that's again really nice, and a slim unibody design with metal finish. Okay, I just set that to the side for now because we do have some paperwork in here. I'm not curious about that. See, do we have anything better? Ah, there we go, we do. So there we go, that's what I like to see. A charger, a 33 watt charger on top of that, and a charging cable type A to type C, well, obviously for the device itself. So let's get this unpacked. Voila, pretty nice metal. It's a silverish color, as you can hopefully see clearly. We have little pins right here for, I assume, some accessories, but nothing comes in the package for it. Now, interesting enough, we do have a pretty hefty little bump right here for the camera. It looks nice though, so can't really be mad about that, but it's obnoxiously big for no reason, because if I'm correct, this is probably like 10 megapixel, 8 megapixel. Let's see. Oh no, it's 13 megapixel PDAF lens that can shoot at 4K 30 frames and 1080p at 30 and 60, which is actually pretty decent in terms of like recording specs right here. Now at the front we have an 8 megapixel sensor right over here. Now that being said, going back to the back one, even for the 13 megapixel I still think the bump is a little bit too much for such a camera. So let's turn it on and start off with the display. So in a second you should be able to see the whole display, the bezels of it I mean. So this is a 11-inch tablet with a resolution of 1800 by 2880. So the resolution right here puts it at about 300 pixels per inch. It is also an IPS LCD display boasting 1 billion colors, 144 Hz refresh rate, HDR10, not 10 plus though, so it's not really certified. And that's probably the reason it's not certified, is because it is just an IPS LCD display that has a brightness of 550 nits. Not the brightest, to be completely honest. Now for indoor use it should be just fine, as you can probably see right now, but for outdoor usage, if you want to, for instance, I don't know, read something on it when you're outside during the day, it's sunny, so yeah, you probably won't be seeing the display too clearly there. But like I said, for indoor use it should be good without any kind of problem. Obviously you can see it right now without any problem, and this is probably somewhere between like half brightness, so it can get even brighter than this, but outdoors might be a little bit of a different story. Now sorry that I'm kind of setting it up in this kind of manner where you can't really see the entire device, but it doesn't want to actually like flip into landscape mode for some odd reason, so I'm just trying to go through this so we can see it. Cool, I think we all know how to use gestures, so let me just finish this. swipe up, and come on. There we go. I love that once you finish it up, it automatically switches to landscape mode. Okay, now right off the bat, we're using it. This camera bump is too much. So I would recommend putting some case on this that would remove the camera bump and make it lay flush, because this is just egregious, to be honest. It's just literally like, oh, you can see that the way it moves. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Now they could have, for instance, put that bump somewhere like right here on the other side, and when using this device like so, it would obviously be laying semi-flush, and even if you flip it to the portrait mode, it would still be just kind of like at an angle, lifted up like this, but that's like what, a centimeter, half a centimeter, maybe even less probably. So it shouldn't be as egregious, but then the tablet wouldn't be doing this. That's a little bit of an, I guess, missed opportunity right here, and also an annoyance, to be completely honest. I hate when devices just do this. It's freaking annoying. Now, anyway, let's get into the internals. So, I already mentioned some of them. I'm gonna go over it again, though. So inside, we have a 8,840 mAh battery, Snapdragon 870, which also technically supports 5G, though I don't think we have a SIM support right here. Yeah, no SIM support. So cool that it supports 5G. It's not like I'm gonna be able to use it. I don't have a SIM card. Anyway, it comes with a 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM with 128 gigs of storage, starting with it, and goes up to 256 gigs of storage. Both cases has a storage type that is UFS 3.1, so it should be pretty fast, though at this moment we are at 4.0, so actual like flagship devices do have a little bit of a faster storage type than this device has. But to clarify this used to be a flagship storage for like older devices, and I'm referring like 2 years ago, so we're not that far behind with this one. It should be still doing super well. Okay, now in terms of the build quality right here, we are looking at a glass front, no surprise there, Gorilla Glass 3, aluminum frame and aluminum back, so again, pretty decent. And I don't know if there's anything else. 33 watt charging, which I did mention, power delivery 3.0, quick charge 4, and the price tag of this is about 400 euros. Again, price wise, it's also priced pretty well for this device. So now that being said, I'm gonna quickly go over the pros and cons of this device, just to kind of give you a little bit of an overview. So in terms of pros, will be the display, posting 144 Hz refresh rate. The Snapdragon 870 will also be pretty fast. The charging speed right here is another positive of this device, so you should be able to top up this battery relatively quickly compared to some other tablets and even more expensive ones. What else? The storage type right here is pretty good, and the base version of it being 128 gigs of storage with 6 gigs of RAM is okay. I would probably recommend going for something like 8 gigs of RAM just to be safe and have this device for a little bit longer and have less problems with it. But in general, storage here is also pretty good. Now going into the cons, the display is pretty dim, so just to max it out right now, voila, that's maxed out. It does cap the camera right now a little bit. As you can see, it's a little bit washed out right here, too bright. But personally, looking at this from my perspective, not the camera that is set up a little bit dimmer, this isn't that bright, to be completely honest. So let me see if I can get anything as a comparison going. So this is my phone, and as you can see, this is way more like the white right here is completely like brighter than this right here. And that was the Fold 4, which already didn't have the best brightness, I would argue. So I think it was like 1,000 nits about peak brightness, while for instance iPhones, as an example, come with nearly 2,000 nits peak brightness. So this is a quarter of that, so it won't get nearly as bright as you probably would want it to be, especially in the outdoor usage case scenario. So that's a big minus, I would say. And another minus, in my opinion, though this is an opinion and more like a preference, the LCD IPS display type. I would prefer to have something like an AMOLED right here that would give me way better black levels, vibrancy, contrast levels. Those would be all improved with something like an AMOLED display. This is obviously cheaper, and possibly by going with the LCD IPS, they managed to have 144 Hz refresh rate over the typical ones that you would see, for instance, like from the S9 Samsungs that come with 120, though 24 Hz more is something that you won't really see between these two devices. It's not something that is noticeable. So I personally would prefer to have an AMOLED and just the 120 rather than like seeing that 144 as a marketing marketing move, that we have a higher refresh rate than, for instance, Samsung, because it's minuscule compared to like the dark levels, contrast, and so on that you will see on a daily basis without a problem. Now, so that was one. Another negative would be this egregious camera bump. It's honestly, if you're planning to use this on a table, I don't think I would recommend using this device at all. This is just this, like anything you do and basically any like this kind of area, it will feel bad. So yeah, either that or use a case. So there weren't that many cons, but the cons that I do have for this device do make it a little bit harder of a sell, I will say. So personally for me, these cons are ones that would make this device be less appealing to me, because the display type here, if I'm gonna be spending $400, I might as well maybe spend a little bit more and get something with a better display, because it's what I'm going to be looking at every single day on this device. So I want to have the best experience that I possibly can. And obviously the camera bump, it's a tablet. I don't really need cameras on here to be good. I want the device to be fast, which it is. And yeah, that would be my primary concern rather than the camera. But by including this, they basically introduced a problem which would annoy the living heck out of me. So there we go. That's my kind of overview opinion of this device. Obviously, if you don't mind some of these things that I mentioned, then this device should be good for you. Otherwise, it's a pretty decent device. The specs right here are good. The OS right here should also be pretty good. It's typical Xiaomi experience, though it is using some kind of like iPad-ish flavor to it with the little bar right here, which I believe shows up. Oh, never mind, it doesn't show up. It's just visible right now. Okay, so it's gimmicky, but I think there's a little bit customization that I can do with this to make it a little bit better. But in general, this device should be pretty okay for just like lap use. You won't have that problem. And just to also give other alternative right here, you could just slap it on probably a keyboard that you can, I assume, buy separately, because we do have these little pins right here, which leads me to believe that this has a kind of like a keyboard thing that you can just plop it on. It will connect with these pins right here and allow you to use this device in a laptop-ish mode, which obviously would also eliminate this problem of this little bump and probably give you a better experience. So there we go. Now, last thing that I wanted to check, which I did say I'm gonna do, is the speakers, because they do have the Dolby Vision something. So let's see how that actually sounds. Where's YouTube? That's not YouTube. There it is. Dolby Vision on, cool. Wait. Now I assume Vision and Atmos are two different things actually, now that I think of it. So Vision would be for display, Atmos would be for sound. I think. I could be completely wrong though. Anyway, let's just search for... Sheesh, that is annoying typing on this. Let's go. Crab Brave. No, I think I backed out. Hello? Can you like... Would you please play? We're using Wi-Fi 5 gigahertz. Could you like load? Thank you. Oh, for goodness sake. I want to check something. Whatever. There we go. Let me also lower down the brightness so you can actually see what is on here. Oh, I just closed YouTube for no reason. So right now we're looking at 15 megabits per second and it can't load the damn YouTube video. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, that's even less unfortunate. Can I now open up YouTube? Oh, okay, let's go. Whatever. Hello? Can I like... Again, I am connected to the same network. Whoa. And to be completely honest, this won't be giving us good quality because it's not even loading the video correctly. This is at like what, 120p? 144p. So the sound will be degraded by this, so I can't even give you like correct representation of this. Something is wrong here because I should be able to load this at 4K without even needing to buffer it. So something is off right here with this device. And I assume if I change it to 1080p, we won't be loading too well. Yeah, like this is... There we go. It's not bad, but to be completely honest, for a size of this display, or the speakers that it has, I can't say it's great either. And just to kind of give you a perspective, so I'm gonna play this on my phone now. This will be a complete overkill considering how vast the price difference between these two devices is. But it is a smaller device that manages to pack a way better sound quality compared to, well, this. A little bit too loud. Although, actually, now that I hear both of them at the same time, this actually might have a little bit more depth. Though it sounds just kind of off. I don't know how to really explain this, but the sound is basically on par with the Fold 4, which did have one of the better sound, like speaker sounds on, well, especially phone that size. So it's not as bad. But obviously there are better devices that have better sound without needing to boast that they're like a Dolby Atmos or something like that. So just as an example, iPads would be one of those, which I think they do sound better, louder and clearer, and have a little bit more depth compared to this, but it's still not bad. For 400 bucks, it's pretty good. Anyway, with this being said, that would conclude my overview of this device. Hopefully I touched upon everything that you might be interested in. In any case, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.